Here. Here. This TV blocks this elbow just a little bit. How we doing, chat? How we doing? I don't know. Here, how we doing? Let's turn the music down just a little bit. Let's get in here. It's Monday, man. It's a slow start. Let's get the bang going. What's up, Sergio? Asano checking in from VIP. Josh Jennings, Aaron, Dan, message retracted. Here, Celia, Lenny. What's up, Lenny? Yo, Lenny's out there crushing it, balling without a budget. I see you every day. What up, Paul? Got a feeling tonight's going to be a good night? I hope so. It's going to be a big week. I'm excited. This is going to be a really exciting week for me professionally and personally. So I'm just hoping every day is just a banger, man. What's up, Jamil? Yesterday was weird. I cashed in almost everything on DraftKings with 259.5. Yeah, actually, so yesterday, some days, you wake up, you won't play DFS, but you don't want to make 150 lineups, 100 lineups. Yesterday was one of those days for me, and I just went single entry crazy for NFL and NBA, and it worked out. Really good day. Really good day. That Browns-Steelers game last night, man, what a game. Hopefully you guys did really, really well yesterday. Yesterday, if we bring up scores from yesterday, we knew KD without Kyrie, right? So the main slate, right? The Clippers and Bulls weren't on the main slate. We knew that the Boston game got postponed. Who was I on the main slate? I cored the Spurs. The Spurs didn't have DeRozan. They were going against the T-Wolves. Everyone got their SGA against Brooklyn and run that back with KD. We all stayed away from LeVert a little bit. It was just a good day. It was easy. Kind of easy slate. Hopefully today's the same. Thought today was going to be one of those high shenanigans slates pre-flop with some COVID news, but it looks like that the Mavericks game postponed, so a little less wonkiness. We still got the 76ers, so we're going to have increased ownership on them. But some of those guys, we don't overthink, right? We play like Maxey and Joel Embiid. We just play it. Our lineups come preloaded with 2 spots already selected, and we just figure out the rest, right? That's how we do. That's how we do. Turn my voice up. Turn my voice up. Am I low? I'll turn the music off. How about that? Anybody else having problems hearing me? Anyway, let's get Roginald for the yo-yos. Here.
Yo.
How we doing?
Well, we don't have COVID, which is always a good thing. Seems like half the league is getting it, but other than that, we live in.
I mean, kind of inevitable when
Seems
you
like
consider these boys are traveling across the country and stuff. But some of these situations befuddle me, like the contact tracing. Like these teams are playing other teams, and they're not like they. I don't know. So like the Sixers, they played the Nets the other night, and when Seth Curry was sitting on the bench in the first quarter next to Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I want to say
him.
It's weird.
It made sense for the entire 76ers now to kind of go through contact tracing. But what about the Nets? They were playing against the Nets. Like, we're cool with that? The Grizzlies game the other day, J-Val got yanked at half.
I thought he was good to go now. Yeah, he's good to go.
He's good to go now, but I'm just saying, like, we halfway through a game, hey, that guy might be exposed to it. Let's get him out of there. Even though he's already played a half. Is he not already contaminated? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are the rules here?
And like with contact tracing, like you get in the NFL, like wide receivers practice together, quarterbacks, whatever, different positions. But in the NBA, like I would assume everyone's scrimmaging in practice.
Yeah, but also
like contact tracing, like everyone's just together. So I don't see how some people would be not eligible to play and some would. But yeah, like I said, no one knows what they're doing. I mean, they'll figure it out. Like I said, I think the NBA just needs to cut the check for thousands of vaccines and do it like that.
Yeah, I don't know about. That's a slippery slope. We're not gonna get it all that. But anyway, chat. It is a Monday, and it was an 8-game slate. Right now it's 7. It's gonna be easy to kind of chop up, stay ahead of everything. Seems pretty tame now that we have the postponement. Like the 76ers are still chaos, but we should know the chaos. So we are going to chop up every game throughout the duration of this stream. We're going to plug a couple things throughout the stream. First of all, since the new year has started, the number one question I get is do you have any specials? Are you running any specials for VIP? People don't like to pay full price.
A toucan died for $9.99.
They just don't like. So I was like, Friday, I was like, you know what? Monday, I'm going to do a 1 day only. I was like, I didn't even talk to my girl. I was like, all right, what's one thing? What are prices I can put where people are just like, all right, Gun broke his foot off and that. I'm in. So today only, well, I'll plug it again later. Today only, the week pass, $25, usually 30. The 2-week pass, 45, usually 55. The month pass, usually 100. Now it's 80. And I think the big one, the year pass, usually 700. Today only is 500. That's the entire year. That's daily Discord. That's daily pre-log voice chats. That's premium spreadsheets. That's coaching if you need it. And that's for the rest of NBA, all of baseball, and pretty much the entire next football season, until January 1st. So really good bang for your buck there. We also have auxiliary sports in the Discord, not officially covered, but Smeezy helps us out with NASCAR. Everyone's in there playing golf. Hockey's this week. I might grind a little bit of hockey. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do. I'll talk about it again later. But everyone keeps asking for specials. There's your special. Boom. Chat. What's up, Sway? Hope y'all hopped on that Boucher train with me this weekend. Yeah, so yesterday they dropped a starting lineup that was like Siakam at the 5, right? And the day before, I don't know what's going on. Like Aaron Baines all of a sudden not a player. The day before,
are just terrible right now.
Or the game before, Alex Len's spot started and played like 5 minutes and got a 0. And then Boucher. So I don't know if they just start Boucher or if they want to just start like using Siakam as a 5, kind of like Adebayo as a 5. That's cool, I guess. But it looks like Boucher could be in for some elevated minutes and responsibilities in the not too distant future. What's up, Crispy? By the way, chat, everyone else can hear me, right? Somebody mentioned my voice level, and I'm all up on this mic. So as long as everybody else can hear me, I think we can isolate it to one dude. But yeah, the ear price is actually solid. Yeah, I think it's really solid. Like I know, like there's several DFS sites out there, and everyone I think offers something really good. And I always ask myself, as long as I have something to offer that's different, then I'm vibing. And I think the literal pre-log voice chat, like literally you jump in the voice chat, you're talking to us, and we're vibing, we're chilling, we're making lineups. And I think that's something that other sites don't offer. I think everything else is like, okay, you can listen to my show before lock, but you're not going to talk to me while I'm making lock. We do it different, right? Seal the deal with Beal. Lock him in. He likes playing them. Has recorded 80 burger. All right. Yeah, Bill will definitely be a test for this top defense, right? McCall Bridges. My level solid. All right, I appreciate that. What's up, Van Dam NYC? Hope you're doing all right. I'll get the 500 after the show. All right, Lenny. Yo, by the way, maybe I'll put up a video. If you guys are getting VIP, make sure you're getting in that Discord. There's several of you guys that are active Vipers, but you're not in the Discord. And Discord is like...
It's where the action is.
It really is. It's so much fun. And I love the it's like camaraderie, fraternity. We're chilling, but we're grinding at the same time. When news drops, everyone
joking around.
Boom. There's been a couple slates lately where late news has dropped, and I'll tag everyone. Hey guys, there's Ed to a late slate. Let's get it. The other day, my literal girlfriend took third in a GPP on the FanDuel single game Once I saw that Rashawn Holmes was out, I was like, all right, here's what you do, babe. And I gave her 5 players to play. And it was Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Yusuf Nurkic, Hassan Whiteside, and Halliburton. And I said, you take Dame, CJ, and Nurkic, and you mix them up at the MVP spot that they got on FanDuel. She was third place, 2 points out of first. And like people are on that slate playing Rashawn Holmes or playing limited De'Aaron Fox. Those after-hour slates really have some edge.
I got a similar story too, but my girlfriend's imaginary chat. What are you gonna do?
Okay, man. Taya, how are you? What the freak? Voted up. All right, let's jump into it, guys. We'll get more walk-in traffic as we go. But today's slate begins with the Memphis Grizzlies at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Your projected starting 5 for the Grizzlies: Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Brandon Clark, Jonas Valanciunas, taking on Colin Sexton, maybe Damian Dotson, Isaac Okoro, Larry Nance Jr., and Andre the Giant Drummond. We got a 206.5 total, 2.5 point spread in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. That is a really low total, but it's one of those games, at least on the Cavs side, we might be able to put a lot of minutes and opportunity and usage on. I need to get my second screen up is what I need to do, and I need to get the news on everybody. But we'll start with the Cavaliers. I think Colin Sexton is the most important bit of news here. So Cavs, Sexton being listed as questionable. He has missed the past 2 games for Cleveland. And with tomorrow's game coming as the first of a back-to-back, it's possible that number will hit 3, blah, blah, blah. All right, so Sexton's questionable. If he misses today, we have seen them use Damian Dotson in that spot. Jetty Osman would be somebody that benefits as well. Let me put Jetty in the pool here. So that's the big news. Is Sexton going to play? With that said, we got a low total. It should probably be an ugly basketball game. But if you look at this Cavs side, there's a couple guys who could put deep minutes on. And I think the first name that I'm a little bit curious with is Andre Drummond. And the reason I'm curious with Andre Drummond is because the story of this slate, Raj, is Joel Embiid. Like, everyone's going to be on Joel Embiid, and rightfully so. But there's a range of outcomes here for Drummond at 9,200 to drop 50, 60 if Sexton's out. If you look at what he did against the Milwaukee Bucks, he 20-20'd on them. And we know 50, 60 fantasy point potential is something that's in Drummond's wheelhouse, and then going against a team like the Memphis Grizzlies who allow a lot of blocks and steals, and Drummond, a guy that gets a lot of blocks and steals, this could be one of those big upside games for him on either side. Now, always in a 1v1 pre-flop, we're going to go Embiid over Drummond in this spot particularly, but if we're playing tournaments, 100K to first, ranges of outcomes, there's at least the sentence Andre Drummond outscored Joel Embiid in fantasy is true. It could be true. So somebody I would not forget about, just because the opportunity seems pretty high with or without Sexton, but even more so without Sexton, for him to be a impact player in tournaments today. And even on DraftKings, you might even do some Embiid and Drummond. If Sexton's out, Jetty Osman, 5'1", 5'9". Really, never a fun click here. But if he's going to play 35, 38 minutes, he could PPM his way into a solid play. I'm not super stoked on like a Dotson, Okoro, or anything like that. Larry Nance always has a puncher's chance. I think I saw a lurking stat that Larry Nance right now, statistically, is one of the best individual defenders. We'll see if that continues. But maybe something to keep in mind if we want to, roster guys like Brandon Clark against him on the Grizzlies side. This rotation is getting pretty frustrating. They're not as short as they once were, and we've seen kind of like the Brooklyn Nets. Everyone's playing under 30 minutes. So every slate, I keep wanting to get Froggy with Dylan Brooks and Kyle Anderson. And they're just not getting the minutes, and they're just knocking on the door. So here we are at a 206 total. Can I just stay away from the whole thing?
I'm with it. I got lucky last game and ended up on Brandon Clark. He kind of got there, but again, it was just kind of a random. Took 22 shots. Don't expect that again. All these Grizzlies guys, they're just not playing over 30 minutes. They're playing 26 to 28 minutes. It's going to be a slow game I think the slowest game on the slate. Memphis is a lot slower without John Morant. Probably going to fade everyone on Memphis. On the Cleveland side, you mentioned Drummond. I think a 1v1 versus him and even Randall, I think is a good 1v1 too. Seti Osman, if Sexton doesn't play, I'm going back to Osman. He just has, a lot of point guard duties when Sexton isn't playing. So give me some Osman if he's not there. Go back to Dotson. At his price, 4,900, I think he might go a little overlooked because everyone will be on the Philly value. So Dotson at 4,900. If he plays, did that Milwaukee go to overtime, or why were all these cats playing 40 minutes?
So that was the game that Giannis didn't play.
Yeah.
And the Cavs, it was all regulation.
Regular. So I mean, Drummond played 40 minutes. Do you expect that again? I mean, I wish. I don't know if we can expect that again, but I mean, he'll be in the pool, like the matchup. It should be good for 45 to 50, and if he gets you that 60-point upside, be great in tournaments. Just play the Cavs, probably fade all of Memphis.
I do have a hankering, just a little bit, for Brandon Clark on FanDuel at 5,600. I do think 25, 35 fantasy points is kind of a window. If that hits, it hits. JaVale, I'm probably just going to rule out JaVale. Like I said, Joel Embiid's going to be like the top guy of the slate. And if I'm building 25 lineups on FanDuel, he's probably in at least 20 of them. So I don't have room for a guy like JaVale today. It could be a good play individually, but the raw points that look like Joel Embiid's ready to give me, and then even like a Drummond over there, Randall's a power forward, so I don't even have to put him in the conversation. So that's where I'm at on those guys. I think I could stay away from really all these Grizzlies outside of a shot at Clark and then even a shot at Kyle Anderson on FanDuel. Like, the FanDuel prices on Brooks and Kyle Anderson, why can't I quit you? Like, they're so...
Sure, FanDuel. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, chat, what are you guys doing with this one? Dan says, fours against Cleveland without Love been producing. Let me put some context there, right?
And I would think no Kevin Love would be a upgrade defensively for Cleveland, but hey.
Yeah, it can't be backwards. Let's see, Brandon Clark. Bobby Portis just dropped 42.75. Absolute animal. Brandon Clark just dropped 27 in 31 minutes. Aaron Gordon, 44 in 28 minutes. John Collins, 24. So it's kind of a mixed bag of nuts. But, yeah, I definitely Brandon Clark has a shot here. And then there was a game where, like, JaVale got protocoled at half, and then Clark kind of filled in as the de facto 5 for the majority of the rest of the game. What else we got here, chat? Does this guy know Yogi Ferrell signed a 10-day with the Cavs? Be wary of your Dotson and Jetty picks. Who's this Shem guy? Why is he up here trying to...
I mean, like, Yogi just got signed. Do I think he's going to play 20 minutes? No.
I mean, even if he did, like, I don't...
Yeah.
Okay, relax, guy. He says, guys, please don't try and be cute like Gundaker here. Play Embiid. It's as simple as that. If you're going to play Drummond, you better... this guy must be a blast at orgies. He's one of those guys who listen to everything.
Talk about it.
Yes, they did pick up Yogi. Hey, boo-boo. Farrell playing I don't know if... is he playing today? Because I know usually lately when guys... have signed to teams, they have to quarantine, but I think there's a camp of guys that are just already quarantined waiting to be signed. So I don't know if Yogi was part of that, Farrell's playing I don't know Denzel. We'll keep an eye on that. Playing Jetty, don't feel confident. So remember, Jetty's not really like directly impacted by a backup guard. They're just really short on guards. Jetty's been a guy that plays a lot of minutes anyway. And Jetty's not somebody I'm excited to play. So I don't know what this guy is trying to sell here. But Jetty's more of like a soak up some minutes and, fill up a stat sheet if you can type of play for me. If he gets 30, 35 fantasy points, I'll take it. And if he's going to play deep minutes, I'll take that as well. Shadow says, thoughts on Jonas Valanciunas. So with JaVale tonight, center is like so shot. Like, I'm not going to get too far away from Joel Embiid if I can help it. There's a couple of guys that if I play in lieu or in to supplement Joel Embiid, They got to have comparable ceilings. Like I think you can argue Julius Randle at 40 minutes against the Hornets could score up there, but you don't even have to play him over Embiid. I think Drummond's the one that's a 1v1 interesting thought, at least on FanDuel. But as we get deeper and deeper, I don't want to get too distilled with my center pool because I believe Joel Embiid is going to have some crazy ownership, and I got to at least maintain some type of leverage here. So I probably start Xing out guys like Jonas Valanciunas just because I don't want to get too far away from Joel Embiid. If I thought, if a center that I really like is only projected to be 15, 20%, then I could start adding more and broadening the pool. I got to believe Embiid could be pushed. Like, we've already seen contests. Like, Karis LeVert has pushed 70% on FanDuel without Kyrie and KD. I got to believe this is the same sharp field. So Joel Embiid might push something like 70%. So I got to at least hold the leverage there. And if I'm going to have another center, it's probably just going to be one, maybe two. I just don't think the raw points of JVal is going to be something that I just even mess with today, right? I just get the raw points from Embiid, right? It's Drummond or nothing. Okay, Cam Reddish, a good value play today. Could be. They are down a lot of guards themselves, and we saw that last game. Reddish came off the bench. That way he could play backup point guard, and he delivered. Let's move on to the next game here. Orlando Magic hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. Project 35 for the Bucks. Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez taking on Cole Anthony, Dwayne Bacon, James Ennis III, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Vucevic. Evan Fournier out again, bro. Those back spasms are killer. MCW also out, and then we know Markelle Fultz. That's a wrap for him. So this Magic lineup looking a lot different. Essentially 3 new starters versus what they had a week ago even. Aaron Gordon's looking like his minutes restriction is, I don't want to say done, but it seems like it's done. And then Vucevic at under 8-9. Now on a normal slate, you might be interested in Vucevic, but today, not getting crazy. I will say Aaron Gordon is at least a curious click for me. I do kind of like him in these pace-up spots. He's a guy that can, score on the fast break, and if it's going to be a pace-up spot, maybe he does generate near a point per minute. At 6,600 on FanDuel, I'd really like to flirt with 35, 40 fantasy points as a potential floor. But in a pace-up spot, I could be a buyer, just out of curiosity. Aaron Gordon, let's go DKP by game log versus Bucks last 10 games. I will say this is a 10-point spread, so maybe we don't get overly invested, and he doesn't have any massive games against him really in his career. So I'm probably gonna end up being low, but I'm at least curious in the thought of Gordon in a fast-paced game. 10-point spread here. The Bucks side, Giannis Antetokounmpo 11.2 on FanDuel, 11K on DraftKings. Do we get 35 minutes of Giannis here, 1.5x fantasy point per minute? If you think the Magic could keep it close enough, then go for it. I definitely will never talk to anyone off of Giannis. Usually I like to talk about the more mid-tier plays. So if you like Giannis, play Giannis. The Bucks also kind of make you choose between Drew Holiday, Dante Middleton, and with or without Giannis, we've seen some solid games. I do think Drew Holiday at 7.6 is a little up there for me. I don't think I get there on FanDuel, but Middleton still has a case. And DiVincenzo at 4,600 on FanDuel. I didn't realize this till the other day when Giannis was out, but DiVincenzo really has a solid game log for a $4,600 player on FanDuel. 27, 30. There's an 8 near short, but 31, 30. There's a couple of puncher's chances results here, and it's priced at 4,600. I probably put him in my back pocket and see what happens. Dwayne Bacon and James Ennis, really doggone cheap. If they're gonna get minutes in a matchup that's going to increase the pace, James Ennis is looking like somebody that they're gonna babysit a little bit more in minutes. But Bacon at 3,800, 3,700 on DK. Maybe he gets lucky and has to chuck some long-range shots here. Other than that, Terrence Ross, could you get down with the game script here? Magic playing from behind, have to chuck threes. Terrence Ross probably your best option.
I'm thinking this game blows out. That's the way I'm going to kind of go with the slate. Probably going to cross this game out. But if this game stays close, you would think Terrence Ross and Vooch will probably need both 30 real life points. So I mean, playing those together, bring them back with some Giannis.
Gordon. Yeah. And again, like the Vooch, the Embiid argument, right? Could I ever play Vooch today in a double-digit spread over Embiid? On
DraftKings, it's fine. You play one util and just lock Embiid in the center. Yeah. I guess on FanDuel it's more of a choice, but Ross coming off a couple down games, I don't think people will be on him. It does seem like a spot where he could go off if this game stays close. And Aaron Gordon, like you said, I mean, pace-up matchups are what we want for Aaron Gordon, right? Played 36 minutes last game. Yeah. I want to cross this game out, but more I look at it, a little interesting.
I do too. I would say with Aaron Gordon, we have seen some games this year where he shot a lot of threes. Took 9 3-point attempts against Cleveland, 7 the last game, and yeah, against Milwaukee, you kind of get pressured into shooting three ball a little bit more. If he gets hot, if he shoots 9 to 12 threes here, a lot of the historic game logs are probably going to do with Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier is kind of a big part of a matchup like this where you have to have that versatile scorer that can shoot long range. Gordon might have to pick up some of those shots, and I think T-Ross. So I think if you do game script, or if you think this game stays close, I would even say like Gordon and T-Ross are bigger catalysts than maybe Vooch. I think Vooch could be a facilitator here and create some opportunities, but I think Gordon and T-Ross would have to carry a lot of slack. So those would be two guys that I would have to consider if I game scripted this to stay close. I think I'm not going to push that issue just yet. Chat, what are you guys doing on this one? Let's get some DJ Augustine blowout run, some revenge game. I'm going to check out Vucevic game log versus Milwaukee. Probably going to play him on DK. All right. We can do that. Nikola Vucevic. 50s, 40s. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, 40 to 50 is what we want at this price point. The 20-plus real points, I like that. 0 for 7 in his last game from 3, 5 for 10. So let's check some threes, too. I can get down with that. 9K. Could he outscore Drummond? Yes. I get down with a little bit of that. I have to keep my... I got to keep my leverage on Embiid here. What's up, James? I'm late, but is the Pelicans Mavs postponed? Yes, sir. What's up, Emmy? Crossed it out. What up, Chronic? Smash that like button, ladies. Yes. Where are we at? We've already broke 100 viewers. I think, chat, by the time we're done, we'll have like 250 viewers. We're just speaking into existence. Yeah, but appreciate you guys showing that love, that thumbs up button. We'll talk about the one-day sale later on today. Are you playing Giannis, Raj? Chat? Anybody playing Giannis?
He's not a bad play. I mean, I think, raw points. He's 11K, plenty of value today. If you want to get him in the lineup, I'm not going to tell you not to.
So I think this morning when I made my spreadsheet, I knew that the Mavs were out, but it seemed like Luka was in. So maybe a lot of people were setting themselves up to play Luka, and we know there's no Westbrook. Giannis is your only 10K or above player on DraftKings today, and there's still going to be enough value with some of these 76ers and some of these other games. If you thought 55 to 65 just raw points were there to go get, yeah, maybe take a shot here, because even in games that blow out, we sometimes see Giannis drop a 60. We checked out Vooch and Aaron Gordon. How has Giannis done on the reverse? Giannis Antetokounmpo versus Magic last 10 games. Guys, I don't know if anybody in the world types Giannis Antetokounmpo faster than me. I'm just being honest. 57, 64, 66. So essentially he's averaging 60 plus in like the last 28 minutes. Yeah, I mean, if you got the money, you just go grabbing 50 to 60 fantasy points. I definitely wouldn't I wouldn't say no to it. Maybe they're really cautious with him with that, injury scare, but I'm just thinking out loud, right? Do you guys think this game blows out? I mean, it certainly seems like Vegas thinks
I think so. Orlando's looked terrible recently, especially with no Fournier, no Fultz.
The impact of your point guard, right? Your playmaker, your facilitator, other than Vucevic. going to a Cole Anthony, who they've literally had to say like Cole Anthony can't handle these minutes. Like he's
rough too, but again,
yeah.
young guy.
And then Dwayne Bacon and James Ennis are like very volatile, and those guys aren't Fourniers that can take over with shots and same with T. Ross. If T. Ross isn't going, and he hasn't been going the last couple games, they're dead in the water, man. It's Vooch and Gordon and good luck. But I don't know. Maybe sometimes we get surprised. We've seen the Bucks come out flat against some of these teams. But yeah, I gotta think it isn't that competitive. I weirdly haven't played much Giannis. I feel like a lot of people don't get to Giannis. Everybody has that one stud that they don't play that much. I know a lot of people that I know are like that with like LeBron, and then like every time I look at LeBron's just got 50 fantasy points, and Giannis last year was just like all the blowouts, man. He's just like in his minutes we're at 28, 30. I hate the man.
I want to say maybe has Drew Holiday taken away something? No, he's still averaging 5 assists. Yeah, he's still Giannis.
No, he's still Giannis. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just do the game stay close. Phoenix Suns at the Washington Wizards. You talk about do game stay close. Over the weekend, I didn't do streams because of the NFL. The Wizards went up against the Miami Heat. No Westbrook and no Bradley Beal. And I was like, all right, well, that game's not going to stay close. I guess I'm going to walk backwards on Jimmy Butler, on Kelly Olynyk, and all these guys. They not only they kept it close, the Wizards dropped 70 in like the first half on the Heat. It was so dumb. They ended up losing Thomas Bryant that game. By the way, we'll talk about the implications of that.
They dropped 70 and like Bertans had a bad game too.
It was so weird. Anyway, Suns at the Wizards here. Phoenix Suns project starting 5: Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. Taking on Raul Neto, Bradley Beal, Danny Avdija, Rui Hachimura, and Robin Lopez maybe. So Thomas Bryant, what did he do? Tear his ACL?
Yeah.
Or something like that. He's done. He's done for the year. Westbrook is out. It's a 231 total, and the Suns favored by 6.5. Now, normally I'd just be ready to give up on him because Mikal Bridges has been, locked down. You put him on Bradley Beal, what do we do? But the Wizards kind of showed a little spunk against the Heat. And I guess if you think about last year's Wizards, they were still a high offensive efficient team. They just didn't play defense. And so far, it seems like that's exactly what's happening this year. Decent offensively, literally no defense. Bradley Beal came out on record and said that they couldn't guard a parked car. Washington has the third worst defensive rating in the NBA behind just the Kings and the T-Wolves right now. But offensive rating, Washington is around top 10. So it's kind of the same but different. But no Westbrook, no Thomas Bryant certainly would walk this team backwards in rebound rate alone, right? If we go pull up the Washington Wizards on-off court tool, and let's take off Bryant and let's take off Westbrook for just this season. There's hardly any sample size, but last year when Bryant was out, we saw that the Wizards would do weird things. They would use Rui Hachimura at the 5 if they had to, and Mo Wagner as well. The caveat with Wagner is he was such a high fouls per minute guy that it was really dangerous to expect him to stick around for very long. This year, without Bryant, without Westbrook on the court, your rebound rate goes to Wagner in just 27 minutes. Troy Brown's up there as well, 12%. But there's no sample size on anything. And then your usage rate, Bradley Beal, 44% usage rate. Again, just 39 minutes of sample size. So this team is going to live and die by Bradley Beal. At least today it is. And Bradley Beal's, he's going to have to earn his keep today because this Phoenix Suns, at least when it comes to, isolation defense, we've seen Bridges and Chris Paul and really this whole team be a strong defensive unit. There's been some letdown games for the Suns here. We watched them let the Pistons scrap with them to overtime. But outside of that, Phoenix has been a top 10 defense. They're really, really slow in pace. They're the slowest paced team in the league, and they're going against the fastest paced team in the league. So it's the unstoppable force, immovable object, fire and ice. Bradley Beal, 10.1 on FanDuel, 99 on DraftKings. no Bryant, no Westbrook. What are you doing with Bradley Beal?
You have to play him just
Do
because
you?
usage is. Usage is literally above 30%.
I agree. I mean, I did the.
Nuts.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, the matchup makes it tough. Is it just like a 20%er? I'm with it at 20%. Like I'm not in love with the play, but again, I just don't want to be killed by 50 real life points.
Chronic.
It's a very real possibility.
Yeah. No, I mean, if the Wizards score, so the spread is 230. So if we give the Wizards 110, 115, does that mean Bradley Beal scored 40, 50 real points?
40, 50 real life points. I think my favorite player in this game is, I don't know, maybe it's a little different terms, Ish Smith. I think he's going to have to really kind of carry some of the scoring load with Thomas Bryant out, no Westbrook.
So I still think I still think they have scorers. They just have no defenders. Like Danny Avila is a great scorer. Davis Bertans, one of the best shooters in the league.
Great scorer. Stop. He's not a great scorer.
Who?
Danny Avila. He had one 20-point game. You're going to call him a great scorer?
Do you know who he is? Or do you
Guy's averaging 7 points per game. Stop.
Okay, but look who's on his team with him. You taking off Thomas Bryant. Stop.
Okay, but
Davis Bertans, one of the greatest shooters in the league. Like, they still have guys that could put up real points. I don't think Ish Smith necessarily has to be the guy to put up real points. Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Me and you have different thoughts on who Ish Smith is.
Ish Smith is a good scorer. He can score the basketball.
I don't know about that. I think he could be a bulldog, drive to the rack, whatever. But I don't think you're not getting step back threes and stuff out of Ish Smith. I don't think we have the same opinion on Ish Smith. I really don't.
Ish Smith, yeah.
But Avila, I think you're sleeping on him. This dude could pop off, especially if McCall Bridges focuses on Bradley Beal instead of Avila. He's 4,300. It's a really tough matchup on paper, but 20 real points, 5 for 9, 7 for 15 in that Miami game. Miami, a tough defense as well. He is very talented. Raj doesn't know basketball, so he's not cultured. He doesn't know about Danny's past. He's a good scorer.
How much Avila are you going to have? You're going to talk like he's going to be some core value.
At this price point, if you think this game stays close, like Avila is going to probably be second on the team in shot attempts.
Yeah, I mean, even if the game blows out,
no, walk backwards. No, gonna walk backwards.
Not walking backwards. He's not going to be a core play for me.
At that price, he might be a core play for me. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm a pass.
Okay.
That's the screams chase.
All right. It's how
coming off as the first 20 real life.
It's a rookie that had his first opportunity. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway,
there's other games with no Westbrook. It's not like he popped off.
Okay, but no Westbrook, no Thomas Bryant.
Thomas Bryant's not going to affect Avila that much. It's not like he's down there in the paint doing his thing.
If Bradley Beal is in trouble, right? If you're putting one of the league's better defenders on him and somebody else has to pick up some slack, is it really that asinine to think that 46 to 4,300 Danny Avila has to pick up some and beat 25, 30 fantasy points? Is it really that crazy, Raj?
It's very chasey.
It's not chasey because you don't know who he is.
It's very chasey.
It's not. Absolutely not. You're ridiculous. Phoenix Suns. You playing somebody's Suns? All right. So one thing about Wizards, I think you can agree on this. Their rebound rate should go really, really bad.
Yeah.
I don't expect Robin Lopez to play super, super deep minutes, but him and Mo Wagner seem like they're going to have to split the difference, and then maybe Rui Hachimura in the mix as well. DeAndre Ayton, no one's playing DeAndre Ayton because of who else is in spots that they're in. But this, I mean, if there was a game for him to, like, I don't know what his personal rebound record is, but, like, he has an opportunity to set a new career high in rebounds this game, considering what's going on.
I can see that. So, I mean, DeAndre Ayton, I think, is a great GPP play. Again, with all the centers on the board, he's going to get overlooked. Could get 20-plus rebounds here. So, good spot for him.
But you say that, but can you see if you had 20 lineups right now, and I guess you're a DraftKings player, so it's a little easier. If you could only have one center, like playing on one center site, is there any way you can get to an Ayton, knowing what else is out there? Like, it might be a hard click to stomach, but the opportunity at rebounds is very high.
Yeah, at 20 lineups, it's tough to get.
And not just him, like Chris Paul. I'm not gonna call it Chris Paul triple double, but like this is the Wizards team last year that we full stacked against. We're getting a very nice Vegas total of 231. Are we sleeping on some Suns?
If this game stays close, Chris Paul is still he's getting mid-30s. He just has not to do a lot of scoring with this team. Devin Booker hasn't been in a single GPP winning lineup this year. He just hasn't popped off. I think Bridges had a fake game last game where he went for 34 real-life points. Don't expect that again. Though Washington is the spot for that to possibly happen again. I think it's just Ayton because of the rebound thing, and that's only in if you're doing 50 lineups plus. I can't see getting to Ayton in 20. Tough.
Yeah. Rod's getting hate for his lack of knowledge on Danny Avila.
Bro, when Danny Avila goes for 10 fantasy points today,
but we're all laughing because you don't know who he is.
Yeah.
It's just because he didn't come out of the college system or whatever. He made it happen. Says, I really don't want Bill for the over 9K. I'm liking the 7 8K today. Fill mid-range Bill. I see what you're saying. Chronic says, whose name is Plan B Smoothies? Does that mean what I think it does? Chronic, the day that I guess the stream will display the most recent super chat. And I was literally drinking a smoothie that day. And I saw it. I called it out. I'm like, Plan B smoothie. I'm drinking a smoothie. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks for the dono. And then, like, as I started talking about the next game, I was like, Plan B smoothie. Oh, my God. I just did a whole... But, yeah. It means what you think it meant. Sway McDonough says, I want Embiid over Beal all day long. I would agree with that. Avila in play, yes. Those FanDuel prices for Booker, Paul, Ayton. Paul is really, really low. And again, not calling a triple-double for Paul, but like high peripheral guy in certain spots. This could be one of them. So I don't mind some deep field tournament shots on Paul or even like any of these Suns. It's still Washington Wizards. Chronic 6, Scott Brooks is also a dope and has Danny in the corner the whole game. He's good. It's more than the spot, I'm sure. Yeah. Tell him, Gun, pull Danny. Yeah, pull up Danny videos. What up, Zach? Say no to that guy. Yo, Rod, you're so...
Bro, everyone's in love with this Danny guy. Like,
because you don't know who he is.
You
don't know who he is. It's like when Luka came into the league, and if you didn't watch EuroLeague, you have no idea.
Everyone knew Luka was.
No, you did not. Literally don't. I'd be 99% sure I can go back into my streams, and you probably said some dumb stuff like Trey over Luka.
No. Luka was a known European product for a couple years. He wasn't just out of the blue.
He was 19. What do you?
No, anyway, but he played pro since 16.
I ain't got time for this. It's just never been. Yeah, I don't know. Payne is out. No ABC. Wait, what? Did ABC? Did Giannis just get ruled out or something? Or no, I didn't see. No. Okay, I think someone's watching on delay, and they just mean no, they're not playing Giannis. All right. Don't scare me like that, Sergio. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Charlotte Hornets hosting the New York Knicks. Project starting 5 for the Knicks. Elfrid Payton, Austin Rivers, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson taking on Devontae, Moonlight Graham, the homie, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington, and Bismack Biyombo. The Big Mac Bimbo, 212 total. The Charlotte Hornets favored by 5. Knicks not getting no respect here. Ooh. Julius Randle's 9,400 on FanDuel, 9,600 on DraftKings. Could be one of my favorite plays on the entire slate.
Love it.
If I go look at that team DVP chart here, Charlotte's given up the second most fantasy points per game to opposing power forwards, and they are bottom 10 as well to centers, and they're number 1 to small forwards. So basically, they're not guarding forwards or bigs at all. And Julius Randle is Julius Randle. I was talking, I think I was playing Fortnite with Rich last night. He was like, man, Julius Randle's having a great year. And I was like, he's really not doing anything that he doesn't already, like he hasn't done before. It's just, he's getting 40 minutes to do it. It's just, it's ridiculous. 30 minutes at OKC, he was in foul trouble. But if you're going to get 38 to 40 minutes in the best matchup literally possible to man, you might just be a tier 1 for me. So Julius Randle, I'm expecting him and Embiid to just be my highest owned players without question. And in 25 lineups, boy, is that lock button looking appealing. Because I just don't feel like I'm outside of foul trouble or blowouts. I just don't know how I would be disappointed. So I'm loving the spots here for Randall. And then this matchup is just somewhat appealing for the rest of the Knicks, at least on FanDuel. Elfrid Payton, we just kind of get backed against the wall a lot, and we just have to play Payton and hope for 25-35 fantasy point window. They are going to be without Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks, Obi Toppin, Frank Ntilikina. So the guard supply is pretty low. Guys like Kevin Knox, Emmanuel Quickley, and Dennis Smith Jr., dispel these starters. But Tom Thibodeau's got him on the Thibodeau diet, and we're just getting deep minutes here. So give me the Randall. Give me, I don't know, 7K RJ Barrett makes the mix for 38 minutes in the number one DVP matchup. Is that worth a chip in a chair? Yeah.
I mean, like you said, Charlotte's giving it up. I like Randall. I think Randall's going to be a core guy for me. Joel Embiid and Randall will be the two kind of pricey guys I'll build around today. Like so, RJ Barrett has a DVP matchup. He's going to play the minutes. Not a comfortable price tag with the 7K range, but I think there's plenty of upside there. Give me some RJ Barrett. On the Charlotte side, I have not played enough LaMelo Ball this year. He is 7K now. And it's just one of those things.
And you've been hating on him every game.
Yeah, but he's just good. So
do I really start playing him at 6,900? You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of two things. One, a couple years ago, Joel Embiid was on a minute restriction, and he was 6K, but he was only getting 18 minutes. And we're we can't play 18-minute guy. And he just kept coming out and crushing. And then when Zion was on a 28-minute restriction, and people just wouldn't play him because he was on a minute restriction. LaMelo is out here balling. 7-4, 7K. That's still a high price to play.
So now he needs the 40. And,
now he needs the triple-double. Gosh darn it.
Now he needs a triple-double. If he gets 30 minutes, it's the Knicks. I mean, it's the shooting. He's been shooting really well from three. Actually, last game, a couple games before that, not so much.
I think if you haven't been playing him, I've been playing him in spot. When he was 6K the other day on DraftKings, I was yeah, I get down with that. But on FanDuel at 7-4, I probably just sit this one out. It should be a slower pace game. So if it happens, it happens. But I do think he had 2 games in good spots, right? On TV against his brother. And then the next night was against Atlanta, a faster pace matchup where Atlanta's defense is bad and they score a little bit more. So I do think we can neutralize the pace a little bit in this matchup at 7-4 on FanDuel. I'm not gonna push the button if he gets 30. If I get roasted because 7,400 LaMelo went off today, then it's just another feather in the LaMelo cap. He's looking so good, so good. He's gonna be such a great NBA player. He's easily gonna be Rookie of the Year, right? There's not even anyone else that I can think of.
It's looking like he's gonna be a perennial All-Star in a couple of years.
A couple years.
Next year, probably next year.
Yeah. Devontae Grant is pretty cheap on both sides. 5,600 on FanDuel. 25-35 fantasy point window. The thing about Charlotte Hornets. And I kind of noticed the other day, P.J. Washington started that game, and he had 0 fantasy points the first 5 minutes. And then LaMelo came in, and that all changed. And all of a sudden, P.J. Washington was, borderline the nuts to win a tournament.
Well, LaMelo's making his teammates better.
He really is. And, there's been games where Devontae and Rozier and LaMelo have a solid stat line. And it seems like it's always, 2 of the 3. Devontae, Terry Rozier, and Hayward. 2 of those 3 end up being a solid play, and it definitely seems like LaMelo's making it happen. So I've been playing Gordon Hayward probably more than the average player has at 7,800 to 7,900. What are you doing with Gordon Hayward here? Are we back at the well where we need 40 plus fantasy points?
You need 40 plus. I stick with LaMelo doing his thing, really kind of controlling the team with the assists. That's a bit of a downgrade for Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward now needs 30 plus real life points. Those assist peripherals, rebounding aren't going to be there as much. So I'm not in love with him in today's slate.
Let me look at the small forward pool on FanDuel before I overcommit to a yay or nay. He's the number 2 price guy. Middleton, Barrett.
How New York can get small forwards anyways, too?
Dude, small forward kind of sucks today on FanDuel. Rui Hachimura is listed. Oh, yeah. We're playing Danny Avila for sure.
No, you with the Philly value guys?
even with the Philly value guys at small forward, there's Danny Green.
Okay, I mean Danny Green. I mean his price. What's his price on FanDuel?
He's almost 5K.
I mean he might have to chuck 15 to 20 shots, but I hear you.
Okay. Okay. But he's still not a value guy. He's 5K. So small forward does suck. So I might end up having more Gordon Hayward than maybe the matchup of the price would make me want. But yeah, I'm probably a buyer. Chat, what are you doing on this one before we matriculate on to the next one? James says New York has no Bullock, so I like all of the Knicks. Avia's going to be Rod's next LaMelo Ball. He just don't know. Sway says, I bet Rods ends up playing Denny Avia. Probably does, yeah. Okay, Gon, I trust you. And then he'll blame me. Austin Rivers is a trash can. Ball's going to be 9K dude before the end of the year. Maybe. Could you imagine coming off the bench and moving to 9K? Definitely, you feel like he should be started. Honestly, it feels like they should liquidate one of those three. Because Devontae, Terry Rozier, LaMelo, they're all NBA caliber players. Yeah. But you just feel like there's not enough room for all three, and they need a little bit more girth in the front court. So
they should trade him for like a good center. Trade Devontae or Rozier for a good center.
Yeah, I don't think you get a good center straight up for that, but definitely would have to consider that move. And they've been using PJ Washington, but yeah, they probably want a little bit more beef. Steve Waller says Maxey or Dotson. Right now, I'd lean Maxey just because the minutes is just so high for him. Let's move on to the next game. The Philadelphia 76ers at the Atlanta Hawks. Project starting five for the 76ers. Tyrese Maxey. Dakota Matthias. Danny Green, Mike Scott, Joel Embiid. Taking on Trae Young, Cam Reddish Jr., DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, 221 total, 6.5 point spread. Favor the home team, Atlanta Hawks. 76ers absolutely just bombarded with contact tracing. Also say that it's a little bit unfair that the 76ers literally only had 7 players that could play the other day. I think they had 8 active just for semantics, but everyone knew only 7 of them could physically play. And they made the Sixers play. And now we're seeing other teams, games get postponed. And the 76ers just got stuck out the other day. Anyway, 221 total here. Just a 6.5 point spread in favor of the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks are facing an absolutely strapped, dire need of help team. And they're only a 6.5 point favorite. So far, the Atlanta Hawks defensively have been league average overall. And offensive efficiency, they've been a little bit above league average. So, in my mind, I'm like, is there a chance that the Hawks blow this one out? But they're missing a lot of pieces as well. I have a short bench for them. Joel Embiid. Let's talk about the 76ers. Just without Ben Simmons alone has just been, okay, we're playing Joel Embiid. That's just it. 76ers, they're basically the Philadelphia Embiids today. 9.7 on FanDuel, 9.8K on DraftKings. You might worry about, are they going to exhaust, the minutes, right? Is he going to break a 38-minute game? We've seen high-minute games from even this year alone. No matter what, we probably anticipate is near 40% usage a ridiculous projection? I don't think it is. So
no,
I think he's the highest owned, if not the highest owned, a top 3 highest owned. But I feel like he could be, him and Maxey could just be the highest owned combo on the slate.
At what point do you think about fading those guys in large field?
I don't. I just don't.
So in the $8 DraftKings, there's 73,000 entries. Okay, if I'm putting lineups in it, and Maxey and Joel Embiid, I mean, what percent do they come in at? 60%.
I can't think of it because, there's not even. It's not like a volatility thing. The other day, Terrence Ross against the Rockets, right? Mm-hmm. A guy that's so scoring dependent, like a Terrence Ross, you know there's a range of outcome that he flops. If Joel Embiid gets 33 minutes in this spot with this potential usage, there's just no flop. Right now, I got him number 2 in my just conservative raw point projections. And then if I sort my value chart, my own projections, I can't like go against my own projections. Maxey, Tony Bradley, Mike Scott, like it's all the 76ers up there. So the only way I would ever like entertain a fade is if I'm running 150 lineups and I know I'm either matching or leveraging the field on these guys. Maybe I'll go play a single entry and fade it and see what happens. And then it's ultimate leverage in single entry because these guys go from 50, 60% on to like 80, 90%. And that's the only way I'll double leverage myself. But there's no way I can argue it here. Like if the matchup's pristine, the minutes are there. Give me Maxey at 5K-ish on both sides. Give me Joel Embiid. I think there's landmines amongst these 76ers, right? Matthias, a Danny Green, Mike Scott. Like one of these guys might just be an average play, but Embiid and Maxey, like that's the cornerstone of my lineups right now, and I don't have any pushback. So yeah, I don't know if you're trying to put some makeup on and get cute, but I don't think I am. I don't think.
I mean, for the most part, people are going to start every lineup with Maxey, Embiid, and even Danny Green. I mean, I think you might be underrating Danny Green a little bit.
I think we might. I don't think the world is. I think Danny Green is definitely picking up tracks, and this might be one of those spots where Danny Green, up until now, has basically been a role player for whatever team he's on, but now he might actually just have to have responsibility as a 35 to.
He had 5
30.
assists last game. I like that. This is the Hawks. Anything to pick up peripherals in. He had a block, 2 steals. This could be a Danny Green.
Yeah, I mean he might have to step it up, and it sounds like the field's already gonna.
And what about guys like Isaiah Joe? He played 44 minutes last game. I mean, with just Joel Embiid back, does he play another? You tell me a player plays 35 minutes against the Hawks.
I mean, anyone with over 30 minutes under 5K has a puncher's chance.
You're with it. You got a guy like Paul Reed.
I don't think everyone's a great play today.
No, I don't think. That's what I'm figuring. So I like Maxey, like Embiid, Danny Green. And I think there's one more guy that probably does okay.
Tony Bradley, for me.
Yeah, I guess Embiid has to sit sometime, right?
3,300 on DraftKings. I think Bradley was my top value play. No, my number 2. I gave him 20 minutes, and he came back at 21 DraftKings points.
Okay.
So he's behind Tyrese Maxey in terms of overall value. And this is just from this morning chat.
You think Maxey's ownership comes in at above 50%?
Yes. I think Maxey... If Embiid's not the highest owned, I think Maxey's the highest owned player on the slate.
Man, okay.
I mean, what...
we have anything else to work with except for a 39-point explosion with 6 assists and 7 rebounds.
Yeah, we have 40 minutes against the Atlanta Hawks. That's what we have to work with. I'm
just trying to figure out, again, in tournaments with 50,000-plus entries...
I just don't think you do it. I think, like, yesterday there were spots where I was eating chalk in NFL, right?
Yeah.
But I knew that they're, like, so Lamar, like, I just ate Lamar, Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, and I was like, if I'm going to get different, I'm going to get different by fading Derrick Henry and fading Corey Davis. And it worked out. Obviously, that was, like, the best case scenario. But especially if you're like a multi-entry guy, free squares are free squares, man. It's less stuff to work, like to figure out.
I like it.
If you're gonna give me 2 free squares, it's just gonna make me scripting 20 lineups easier to get the range of outcomes that I want. So I'll take it. But behind Maxey and Embiid, I think it does get a little blurry and murky. And I'm curious to see where the ownerships level out by the field, because I do think Danny Green might be over-owned, because even in that last game, he was the only NBA player essentially on that team, and he wasn't even like a great play at this price.
I mean, he shot 4 for 17.
Very Danny Greeny.
I mean, that'll be nice. Well, maybe it's a 9 for 17. He breaks that slate, so I'll take shots on him. The Atlanta side's interesting too. They're short. They have Bogdan's out, Gallinari's out, Rondo's still out. So I mean, they're missing some bodies. DeAndre Hunter is 6'2". He just keeps getting it done every game recently. 37, 34, 38, 31. I expect this game to be running up and down the court. Not a lot of defense here played. Give him some DeAndre Hunter at 6'2". I think he just continues it. Gets you 35+. And if Cam Reddish comes off the bench again, I love Cam Reddish. I think he has all the usage off the bench. will get some time in the starting lineup too. If he starts, I don't know if I like him as much.
Who, Reddish?
Reddish, yeah,
Yeah.
he came out the bench last game and I liked it. So give me some Cam Reddish at 5-1. I think there's plenty of upside here. Trae Young, I mean, 20% rule.
Dude, Trae Young has just been absolutely a thorn in my side. I swear, every time I set up and I think today, Trae Young is Bradley Beal, right? Like, is that just Bradley Beal money?
Yeah, I mean,
Beal's
you
9-9,
probably
Trae
take
Young's
Bradley Beal
9-4.
over him all day, every day. But
I'd
again,
probably take
I expect
Damian
this game to be the
Lillard.
highest scoring. Yeah.
Trae
I'll
Young
go
is just
there,
not
too.
doing it for me. One thing I think that we were talking about the other day is seems like he's taking a lot less. Was it mid-range shots or just like jumpers? He's or vice versa. I don't know. We were talking about that, and he's just different so far.
Okay. Yeah, the assists are there. It's just,
9-4.
I just think these guys are shooting well. Like Hunter's taking shots, hitting the shots. Reddish is hitting the shots. You got Collins. You just have guys, but with no Bogdan and no Gallo, it's just is
Yeah,
all the playmaking to going to Trae Young. Does he end up with like 15 assists?
yeah, maybe. I mean, double with assists is baked in there, but all right, I wouldn't. If anyone's trying to if you're running back your Sixers with Trae Young, I certainly don't think that's crazy. It's just a warm and fuzzies, man. I guess he just keeps burning me, and I'm salty about it.
So I mean, if Reddish starts, are you still high on him too?
Yes,
But then he's playing.
but yes, but like I still think he'll play backup point. Like I guess Brandon Goodwin, Kevin Huerter, whatever. Solomon Hill had some flukiness going on last game. I'm not gonna chase that. Yeah, they're really short. So I'm looking at chat, right? Jose, shout out to Jose, says, bro, how are we not thinking this was a blowout at halftime and beat sits 1.5 quarter scenario for sure? A blowout scenario is possible, but so far the Hawks defense just really isn't clamped down, and the Hawks are really short themselves. So I can still see a Joel Embiid-led offense keeping this game somewhat close. But I understand what you're saying. Like, that would just be the ultimate, like, duh, it should have been a blowout. But that Sixers team hung in there with the Nuggets for a bit, right? And then that was without Embiid. You add an Embiid, and then you probably take a step backwards defensively against the Hawks versus the Nuggets. So I don't think it's a blowout. But
What are you doing with Hunter?
certainly could be. 6K. If 30-ish is just the range of outcomes, I'm not that excited.
I mean, he's gone 37, 34, 38, 31. Yeah, he just gets there.
Yeah, if he's getting above 35, I'll take that. But
Yeah.
if 30-ish is the range of outcomes, I'm chilling. But I think a lot of these Hawks players are just in play just for minutes. Like this is right now. It's one of the teams. Are they feeling? They're maybe not as Raptor-y, but I got 33 minutes on really 30 minutes on the entire starting five. There's not many teams I can do that with today. So yeah. If I can,
You know what? If it's Kevin Huerter versus Cam Reddish, I'll take the guy coming off the bench.
Makes sense. Embiid doesn't need 35 minutes against the Hawks to smash. I agree. He made it happen. Do you like Scott or Reed for value pivots on Philadelphia today? So Mike Scott revenge.
Is he even playing?
Yeah, he's in.
He's available, but I mean, that was like last game, right?
Yeah, I mean, let me see.
They might just keep the body in there.
Mike Scott will be available, blah, blah, blah. After missing previous shots with injury, Scott will return the action. Yeah. It looks like he'll be able to play. He could start. If he wasn't in the starting lineup, I guess I would have some reservations. But nonetheless, Mike Scott versus Paul Reed. What a friggin' question.
What a world.
Are we playing preseason? Yeah. If Gunn says play and we do it. No, all right. I don't ever tell anyone to play anyone. This is not who I am. I just tell you guys what I'm doing. There was some hater in the chat a couple streams back. He's like, "Who is this guy? Why should we take his advice?" I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. You guys can tail it or do whatever. I don't. Yeah. Wait, Gunn, where are Bradley's minutes coming from? 20 minutes at center. They're running him at power forward. You're saying, dude, Dwight Howard's running point. Okay, this is very positionless basketball that the Sixers are going to be in right now. Joel Embiid will run point in this game more than likely for stretches, right? Bradley played 24 minutes against Denver. I put 20, right? If he loses 4 minutes because Scott's back, whatever, I'll take it. And he's a point per minute guy. We saw it in Utah as well. But he's also not like a priority, right? Don't jam him in your lineup because he's projecting well. If is he center only? Bradley, he's center only guy. I'm still gonna have a higher priority on the raw points, my Embiids, my Drummonds, my Vucevic, stuff like that. But I think he's a solid like shot for value, you know. Scott is no pivot. He will be chalky. So Mike Scott's a guy, if I thought he was chalky, and in my head I'm like, all right, is he going to play deep minutes? This is his first game, a little up there. And if he didn't start, I could really go backwards on Scott. So if I wanted to leverage the field on Mike Scott ownership, I would. But if he started, I would feel better. If he didn't start, I would think there's a range of outcome that he could be a 15-minute player today. He's focusing more on driving to the basket. Trae Young, more on driving to the basket over shooting long shots. All right. Michael Baker says that if I have a Green Embiid Maxi lineup, I don't need a Hawk to make that. Would I make? Okay, so you're asking, should you run back a 3-6 run lineup with the Atlanta Hawk for positive correlation? It doesn't hurt. Like, it would make sense that a Hawk would benefit from, you know, firing back, like a Trae Young would be out there. So, and especially today more than ever, as how short the Atlanta Hawks appear to be with their guard situation. No Bogey, no Chris Dunn, Gallo, Rondo. I would probably want, you know, maybe firing back some Trae Young here. I don't think you have to, just because the Sixers are so short and you're just getting those minutes. But I don't think you're out of your mind to do it. But I don't necessarily feel like I would force a run back. Especially, so if you did that, if you forced it to run back Trae Young and on FanDuel, and Maxi's one of your guys, you'd lose out on any other point guard spot, like a Dame. Brogdon against Sacramento could be nice. Also, I know I tweeted it yesterday, but Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry should not both be point guard only on FanDuel. That's the dumbest thing. I guess point guard is just a couple of them. So yeah, I think it's fine, Mike. I would run back Trae, DeAndre Hunter. I'm not as like confident in Cam Reddish as others, but I think Reddish would be a guy I would want a piece of. And the same with Kevin Huerter. Like, I have a lower level of confidence on Reddish and Huerter outperforming their salary, but Hunter's just been super solid. So give me Hunter and Trae Young as my first two run backs. Clint Capella just gets phased out, right? Like, you can't justify a center spot.
I mean, on DK again, I think you could.
You think you could? Like, you think Clint Capella?
Yeah, Embiid, Clint Capella on Utah. Don't hate it. Someone's got to be out there to guard Embiid.
Capella's just not the type that I like. That makes me want to load up on Embiid. All right, let's move on to the next game. Portland Trailblazers hosting the Toronto Raptors. Raptors project starting five: Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. I'm going by what they threw out last night up against Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Derek Jones Jr., Robert Covington, and Yusuf Nurkic. A 230.5 total, 5-point spread in favor of the home team Portland Trailblazers. The Raptors are down bad, man.
Yes, they are. It's a little rough. Maybe we just want a nice little pick. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. So when we look at when we look at the Blazers, immediately we consider Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, high-minute guys. They overlap just fine to one spelling the other for point guard duties. Yusuf Nurkic at 6'4", 6'6". Like, so the Blazers just keep getting into the wrong side of blowouts or even right side of blowouts. And Nurkic is just not getting that opportunity to curtain call that 28-minute game that he had against Chicago. But his fantasy point per minute efficiency right now is starting to look very Nurkic-y. 34 in 23 minutes, 29 in 23 minutes. But look at this, how lopsided these games are getting. One of these days, we're going to get a 30-minute Nurkic, and he's going to drop 50. And, you know, a slate like this, when we're just preset with, like, the Embiids or whatever, it could happen. So, and the Raptors have been really, really poor defensively all the way around. So, somebody that I'd keep in the back of my head, I might just play like a after hours slate or something just to get a little taste of that. I don't want to miss that big game because I think it's coming. But Lillard, CJ, the first two names that really just float to consideration. And then the Raptors are still stackable because they have such a high predictive value in projected minutes. I got 36 on Lowry, 36 on Van Vliet, 36 on Anunoby, and then 37.5 on Siakam. I don't know what the Raptors are doing with this center spot, but in the last week, we've seen Aaron Baines removed from the rotation, right? Baines isn't starting. Baines will come off the bench for the first time this year, blah, blah, blah. Well, he hasn't played since the 6th. Then we saw Alex Len draw a spot start a couple games ago. He played 5 minutes. 5 minutes. He okey-doked everyone. He was done. And then Chris Boucher is out there picking up a lot of the slack, a lot of the run. In the last two games, 24, 29 minutes. And we know he is a guy that can be really, really high point per minute. And his blocks are insane. 6 blocks against Golden State. 37 and 49 fantasy points. If he's going to be a 25 to 30-minute player as they try to figure out what they want to do with their center spot, $6K is way too cheap for Chris Boucher, I think. So at $6K today, assuming the Raptors continue this, I mean, the play like Nurkic and Kanter, maybe this is a little bit more traditional, and you can try to go back to a Baines or a Len. I don't know what they're doing. It's very weird. But Boucher is back in the mix where I think on DraftKings he's playable at 6K. FanDuel at 7.2. I'm a little bit, 7.2, that's a risk, but 6K.
And Boucher 60 minutes against Kanter at the back of 5, which is always nice. I like it.
Yeah. And then Lowry, Van Vliet. So Van Vliet, if I'm getting 37 minutes of Van Vliet here, a little bit of a late-night hammer. Norman Powell's another guy yesterday drew that start. If I'm getting 25, 30-plus minutes out of him, maybe I take a stab. I think all the Raptors could probably hit my player pool, and then I just adjust my volume levels of who I would have. I think I would have the most Van Vliet. And Siakam's minutes are there, too. So, I don't know. What are you doing with the Raptors?
Yeah, the minutes are there. Give me some Boucher. He's getting hot, playing well, getting more minutes. So at 6K, I mean, he might be 7K next week on DK. So give me some of him. Between VanVleet and Siakam, I think one of them probably goes off. Which one is a bit of a coin flip? Portland does not like to play defense, so I do expect this game to be high scoring. So give me VanVleet, give me Siakam, not together, just either one of those in the lineup. Portland side, Raptors have been playing no defense. Give me all the Lillard and McCollum, alternate between them. Nurkic, bit more of a tough click at 6'6". It seems like I might just like Boucher over him at 6K, save 600.
Mm-hmm.
But Nurkic will randomly see the 30-minute game eventually without telling us. So, I mean, that upside is here. So, yeah, probably some use of Nurkic in the util spot.
Yeah, I'm glad I only play one center side. No, I'm just kidding.
It should be a high-scoring game, though. How much Lillard and how much McCollum?
230. That's up there. Like, if we're getting a 230 total, and I got a whole team of 35, 36-minute guys, like, maybe I should be higher on these Raptors than I really am. And Van Vliet. Is Van Vliet just, like, so obvious, and I'm sleeping?
8,500, like, he's there. I'm not running to play. Again, you start your lineups with Embiid, Maxey, build around that. If he's your kind of second kind of stud AK guy.
Let me try that. So let's think like a lineup construction. I want Maxey, I want Embiid, and then like I said, Julius Randle is probably a core play for me. So if I do that, it's gonna leave me 5180 per, and I might just get priced out of these Raptors, even though I think they're fine. Same with the Blazers. So maybe. But Boucher is 6K. I can still have exposure at 6K, right? Boucher is probably way too cheap at 6K. Boucher might be the only Raptor I get to on DraftKings then. Oof. Okay, let's go back to the
Boucher versus DeAndre Hunter is interesting at the power forward spot.
I wish there was some more concrete, like what the F are the Raptors doing with this center spot? Because if they're ditching Baines and Lynn completely, like, yes, give me all the Boucher at 6K.
I hear you.
Yeah. Let's look at the live chat. Sway says, don't play Boucher tonight. You don't like Boucher? Nurk and Canner are too big and physical. Canner is not somebody I'd be scared of. Nurk for sure, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of overlap between Nurk and Boucher unless they do something funky and they start Boucher. We'll see. Think we'll see more Baines and Len? I just want to see any Baines and Len because we haven't seen any. We've seen 5 minutes combined from the two in the last, 2-3 games? It's ridiculous. James says they messed up and put Van Vliet on point guard. I don't understand that at all. And I tweeted it yesterday because it was like that yesterday. It's not, it doesn't make sense. I understand that Van Vliet is a point guard, essentially, but, it's Lowry and Van Vliet are basically Lillard and McCollum, right? They're both playing 35 minutes. You shouldn't put them both at the same position for fantasy. You just shouldn't. Stanley, I'm talking too low. How come some people say they can't hear me and then everybody else is fine? I don't know if that's I don't know.
Could be their computer.
Maybe. Bradley played the minutes you showed versus Denver, and Joel did not play in that game. So with the 20 minutes you're saying he's playing next to Joel, I don't buy it. Don't play him. I don't think Bradley is somebody you have to play. It's just I got him for 20 minutes on her. As short as that lineup is, I think 20 minutes is fine. All right, you guys are overthinking the 76er situation. They don't have bodies. Raptors legit said when they played the 76ers, they don't want to play Boucher against big centers. Canner is physical. He will push Boucher anywhere he wants. Canner is not really... He's a high motor. He's like a white Montrezl Harrell with a little less game. I love Canner. He's won me tournaments.
Canner has more of an offensive skill set than
You think so?
Montrezl. Yeah.
I feel like they're the exact same. Canner maybe, hook shot a little bit more, and Montrezl would just drive to the rack, but I don't know.
I always think Montrezl is more of a dunker, while Ennis has a little bit more.
Right, okay, that's fair, but I'm saying, I don't, Canner's not some bully ball center is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He's just going to beat you to the rebound and score real fast. He's not, I don't know. Physical is a loose interpretation. I love Canner, though. I think... my last 5 tournament wins, I think Canner's been in 2 of them.
Yeah, you've had some good nights.
I love him. Canner's great out. Yeah, that's the thing with Canner. It's been like that no matter where he's been, whether it's Utah or anywhere. He's just good offense, bad defense, right? That's the thing. So, anyway, where's all this physical Canner? Okay, we're not calling it. But anyway, we got 1 game left on the docket. Where are we at? 165 live views. Chat, you want to help me out? Hit some thumbs up. That would be lit. Happy Monday. Today, Junior. Everyone has been, since the flip of the new year, I've been getting going. You got any VIP specials? You got any VIP specials? And here's the normal rates, right? The normal rates, $700 for the year, $100 for a month, $55 for 2 weeks, $30 for a week. Well, today only, literally today only, we've decided to do kind of a flash sale for people that have been loyal to the stream, wanting to sign up. But you guys are like me, right? You want to feel like you got some value. So Run DFS underpriced the packages today. These guys are must plays. The week pass is at 25. The 2 week pass is at 45. Month is at 80. And the year pass, instead of 700, is 500 today only. So if you guys have been one of those harping for a sale, the sale's up there now. And even if you currently have an active subscription, whether it be week, month pass, you can add to it for a discount, and boom, you'll be good to go. So that is up there for you loyal stream viewers. And I just checked my phone. It already looks like some of you guys are getting in that year pass. Lenny, Live It to Lenny, already got the year pass. So when you guys do upgrade, make sure you go to VIP threads after you sign in. Click the onboarding thread. There will be a link to the Discord, the link to the NBA VIP spreadsheet. This weekend we'll have the NFL spreadsheet, and then you'll be home free. You DM me on Discord or Twitter, and I'll get you set up. Any questions, comments, concerns, I got you. But yeah, get them likes up, get them thumbs up, man. We want some good vibes tonight. Hopefully get some good screenshots tonight. 10 p.m. Sacramento Kings hosting the Pacers. We got 2 games at 10 p.m. and the Hawks game is at 7:30. So there might be an hour and a half, 2-hour gap where we're just sitting around considering late swap options and stuff like that. Project starting 5 for the Pacers: Malcolm Brogdon, Aaron Holiday, Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner taking on De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, Rashawn Holmes. A 227.5 total, 5.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Indiana Pacers. Goga Bitadze out, Bowen out, Jeremy Lamb out, TJ McConnell out, and TJ Warren out. This is going to be a short staff Pacers, and I think much like the Raptors or some of these other teams, this Pacers team becomes stackable and they become very, very valuable in terms of a high level of predictive value and minute projections. I got 37.5 minutes on Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis dang near flirted with a 30-30 the other day. He had 20-20 in the third quarter, finished with 28 real points, 22 rebounds against the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns, we've been talking about.
That was in another spot.
Yeah, we've been talking about how good the Phoenix Suns defense is, right? And then here comes Sabonis to maybe curtain call that against the Sacramento Kings team that so far this Kings team defensively is the second worst defense in basketball behind just the Minnesota Timberwolves. And you just pick on them. You can attack them everywhere. They are allowing 53 points in the paint per game. That's the most in the NBA. So Sabonis should have no issues at all, just doing whatever he wants to do for 37.5 minutes. Malcolm Brogdon's 8-4-8-3. Raj, I know you hating on my boy Malcolm, but 50-plus fantasy points in this matchup is a range of outcome. And even if I just got 45-plus, I'm there. 43.5 or more DKP in 4 games straight. The minutes are nuts. There's no TJ Warren, but no TJ McConnell. The minutes are him to run point. 39-plus minutes in 4 straight games. You're getting 39 minutes against the worst defense in the NBA. I'm in. Other guys to look at, and I can't believe I'm going to say this name, but shout out to Mike. Justin Holiday.
Hello.
Justin Holiday. I mean, his price has gone up. 38, 36, 24, 29, and 39 DKP. So, that's Drew Holiday. I'm an idiot. 24, 29, 29 at 4,900. He on FanDuel the other day, I think was almost 3K, and I was just like, me and Mike were laughing about should we play Justin Holiday, and he did. He played Justin Holiday and 28, 27.9. If you put him at 30-plus minutes, just a puncher's chance against the worst defense. He's technically the 6th man on this team. I think there's a chance that I'll have some of them, and I kind of want to play this 2-game night slate because I do think this is a fun slate pre-flop. So I might have to put some action out there on the night slate. So give me some Justin Holiday. I think all of the Pacers can play, and then Miles Turner 6,200 on DraftKings, 4.1 blocks per game this season. It's actually stupid how many blocks he's getting. You put him in Boucher together, and just what they're doing with block 4, 8, 3. This guy might set a record for average blocks per game. Finally got a double-digit rebound game against Phoenix, doubled with some blocks to boot. He's 6,200. He's right there at the Nurkic price on that late slate, right? So if you were thinking Nurkic could pop off here and maybe look for a pivot, I think Turner's right there in the mix considering the matchup. The Sacramento Kings have been decent in terms of rebounding, but certainly a spot where he can get off on some blocks. 5.8 blocks per game. If we go to the team metrics chart in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, 5.8 is about top 10, top 7 in terms of blocks allowed per game. You know who's allowing the most blocks per game? The Toronto Raptors. Surprise?
We're just rough this year, man. I just don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, the Knicks are up there too, surprisingly. But I guess when your bigs take more shots in the paint, it is. Yeah. So, are we touching Kings today?
I mean, Buddy Hield's questionable with an ankle. A player like him, coming off of tweaking his ankle last game, kind of expect him to sit. So I think Halliburton is priced up. I think he's going to really good
When
play.
he has played, they've been watching his minutes too.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Halliburton at 6'2" on DK. I like it. What's Indiana's defensive rating? I mean, are they giving a ton of points? I'm sure that they've been quite a few close games.
Let's go to the team metrics tab or column. Indiana is a little bit above league average, 108.9 points per 100 possessions. So
Okay, it's right around the middle.
almost league average to the team.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
if we cross reference that with offensive rating, Sacramento is below league average.
Okay. And De'Aaron Fox still in the minutes limit. I think Halliburton can become a nice little piece at 6'2". Don't hate that. Rashawn Holmes questionable again. I mean, if he sits, Whiteside might have to play even more minutes than last game against Portland. He played 24 minutes there. Maybe if you give me 27, 30, he can get there for you at the center position. Use him in Utah and DraftKings. Probably can't play him off FanDuel. Don't hate it. Harrison Barnes. He's Harrison Barnes. 6,500 now. He's not 6K anymore. Should be good for 30. I kind of like if the Kings can keep this close. I like it. What's the spread?
5.5.
Okay, 5.5 spread. Can you stack this game?
I don't think I can get to Kings.
You know, if you just
Unless Fox was out and Holmes was out, and then I can narrow down.
Fox is out. Fox will play, but I think Buddy Hield is out.
But even if I don't know that Fox would be on like a long-term minute restriction.
Yeah, he's just coming out back-to-back games, 25 minutes. I don't know.
But they said that they were managing his minutes due to that hamstring injury, so 25 could just be his diet. And then if Buddy Hield considered questionable, blah blah blah. Because even if like Hield is out, like yes, the thought of Halliburton is fine, but is it like a safe lock? No. So I don't know if I'm getting the Kings. And if Rashawn Holmes is out, you can make the case for Whiteside, but center's kind of spoken for when it comes to raw points. I might not get the King. I think you can make great cases here, but unless we knew for sure that some of these cats were out, like I can't really put I can't put a high level of confidence. At least I know with the Pacers, like I'm getting minutes here, and as bad as the Kings are on defense, like there's still a world where the Pacers could just blow out the Kings because that's the NBA. But yeah, so let me ask you this: Sabonis versus Randall, like the matchup is super tip top. I would love to see if I can get some Randall Sabonis like Embiid lines. I'm sure it's possible, but it's gonna be kind of very punty. If you had to choose one guy, and we've seen this story on FanDuel between Randall and Sabonis, like a couple slates back, Sabonis was 40%, Randall was 10%, and Sabonis was outshined by Randall that night. And I feel like tonight it might even flip flop. I think we could see 40% of Randall and Sabonis at 10%. If you had to choose one guy, 1v1, like Randall versus Sabonis, same minute, same price, where do you land? Where's the coin land?
It's I'd go like 60-40 Randall. It's still close, but I'm tilting toward Randall. The matchup, Charlotte's given up, second most to power forward. I want to say the New York game is also more likely to stay close, even though the spread is only 5 in the Sacramento game. If like Buddy Hield sits out, I could see Indiana maybe running Sacramento off the court a little bit. But it's definitely a coin flip. I'm gonna have both of them. Both of them are in the pool. I might have like 20% of both, to tell you the truth. Joel Embiid and Randall, Joel Embiid and Sabonis, probably not all three together, but I'm loving both.
I definitely think there's a roll on FanDuel tonight where I fit all three. And FanDuel's just a wild west. Because if I do, Randall, Sabonis, and Embiid, I still get 52 per. And if I go get like a Maxi or something like that, Maxi's 52 on the dot. Yeah. I think I can make this happen on FanDuel. But on DraftKings, I feel like it's borderline impossible.
What's the price? Are they that much cheaper on FanDuel?
It's not that necessarily that they're cheaper. It's just like it's wild. You get an extra 10K salary, and there's more.
Okay,
I don't know.
Extra, I hear you.
Is what it is. All right, chat. Let me get caught up on chat. If you guys got any lasting questions, comments, concerns before I drop them, and I got time. I got time before I got to be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP voice chat pre-lock. And remember, you guys can jump into that pre-lock voice chat. We did get news that James Ennis was ruled out for the Magic. So if you thought Ennis was one of the NBA level players that could give them a chance at keeping that game close, he's out. So maybe Dwayne Bacon at near bare bones min is going to fall into something. Let me go put looking at the Run DFS chat. This is what the RunDFS.com VIP Discord looks like. Just 24/7 of cast just chilling, talking plays, whatever. In about 26 minutes, I'm going to be in this part right here, the NBA voice chat. If you guys want to continue the conversation, you guys can listen in, or you can grab a mic, join in. I said it, I'm not going to repeat the promo, but if you look at my Twitter, there is a 1-day sale going on for passes at RunDFS.com. You get in there. So I'll be in there after the stream. But until then, let's get caught up on chat. Let's get caught up on questions, comments, concerns, and that'll be our Monday stream.
You know what? You can do Randall Embiid Sabonis. It's just that you got to throw in like a Troy Brown Jr. in there.
Or a Dwayne Bacon.
Yeah, that's a name too.
Devin Scott or Nick Creasy. If Turner doesn't get into foul trouble here, he can get a ton of blocks for sure. Indy backcourt defense is stout. What up, Justin Sports? What's your favorite play, bro? I missed the stream. Julius Randle and Joel Embiid, Maxey. And if you can get to Sabonis, I love some Sabonis there, right? Depot and Brogdon might just focus on Halliburton. Very possible. Also, I love Brogdon. 38 minutes of him in a top matchup. Kicks good. Maxey, Green, Scott, Embiid stack. I don't know if I'm 4-stacking Sixers today. I'd probably have a lot of Embiid, Maxey, and if guys like Danny Green got in the mix. It sounds like Mike Scott is the question of the day. We've seen this.
3K stone minimum. Okay, that's how you fit in the Randall Embiid.
Yeah.
Sabonis thing.
Sounds like everyone is asking about Mike Scott, and I think that'll be the guy to watch throughout the day when it comes to ownership projections.
4 guys on one team.
I'm not gonna play 4 guys.
It's tough. Yeah, I think 3.
But what we're saying is you could play 3, but it's Embiid, Maxey. Then what do you do after that? Is it Mike Scott? So if I was looking for a leverage spot, is it Mike Scott? Like if I told you right now, Mike Scott is 35% owned on DraftKings.
How many minutes you giving him?
I don't know how you confidently give him more than 20. And I feel like 20 might even be pushing it because Mike Scott, man. He has 19 is a season high against Cleveland. They still have bigs, right? They still have Tony Bradley. They still have Dwight Howard.
Well, Tony Bradley and Dwight Howard are centers. They're not going to play beside Joel Embiid in any lineup, I don't think. It's going to be Paul Reed and Mike Scott playing beside.
I mean, they still could play beside because this could be a positionless style game because they just don't have bodies. But the question is right now, if I gave you 20-minute Mike Scott 3K and he's 35% owned at least,
I mean,
are you 0 matching the field or double the field? I think I'm 0 to just try and find a little cute leverage.
Yeah, like I'm not totally in love with Mike Scott. I mean, I don't really need him in the build. Like other than the lines where I'm trying to jam in Randall Embiid, Sabonis, and some studs like that, I'm not.
In fact, I mean, you're gonna want value today. But yeah. I'm looking at where I get different because I'm not getting different on Maxey and Embiid. I'm taking those two. I don't know. Something to think about.
I think I'm taking Danny Green too with those two.
Danny Green is not that.
I'm going to be just as high on him.
What else we got? Chat. Use Randall, Sabonis, fade Embiid down to a cheap center and go through the Brogdon or Dame. I think that's viable, but I love bigs. This is a slate where I can go grab my bigs. Stack Sixers. It definitely seems like a chalky approach. Sergio. I don't know that I would be comfortable with more than 3 Sixers in a lineup. I don't know if I'm 4 stacking
3
today.
would be most, yeah.
Definitely stack Sixers. Just got to pick the right ones. I agree with that. 3 Pacers with no run back. Okay. This isn't football. I don't think you have to run back. If you're getting 38 minutes of a player, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take the 38 minutes. If you felt compelled to run it back, the Kings could be super spread out pre-flop. Yeah, Charles says, you think Avia is going to get 30 minutes tonight? Yes. Trey Romaine, Jokic and Garland, or Towns and Kyrie? What? What? Is that a season-long question? If it's a season-long, give me Jokic. He offered. Okay, so it's a season-long trade proposal: Jokic and Garland, or Towns and Kyrie. I want Jokic no matter what. Towns has been injury-prone and is on a bad team, and Kyrie plays when he feels like it. So give me Jokic. Jokic could be the number one fantasy player to own in season long. He's going to fill up every stat sheet. So that's what don't give up Jokic at all. 4+ got to run it back, I'd say. I mean, yes. Sorry, late to the show, but Stat Embiid versus Capella, and it's not pretty. I can't get into what he's done in the past. Like, this is such a think of how dumb we would feel if we. Well, historically against Capella has not been there, but 35 minutes of 40% usage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not overthinking that. StatMuse is a wonderful tool, but it becomes very BVP-ish if you don't put context to it, right? DKP by game log versus Clint Capella last 10 games. You know what I mean by that? You baseball DFSers, like BVP is such a limited tool. So 45.5 in 33 minutes. 45 and 25 minutes. 25? Yeah, he was on pace to be a fantastic play. And this is years ago, 2017, when he was probably on that 28-minute restriction. I don't think you're putting context to it, because I think it's very pretty. 45 fantasy points in 25 minutes, 38 in 25 minutes. If that's an extra 10 minutes, that 45 becomes a 60. So I'm not wavering. What up, Darren? A lot of value out there. Pick 3 to build around: Embiid, Bill, Sabonis. I think if Bill gets some traction, I might be the low man on Bill. I might be out on Bill, and I'll just put that 9-10K into the Sabonis, Randall, Embiids of the world. What does it mean to run back? Run back means like a correlation play. So like in football, if I have Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown, and Mark Andrews, essentially I'm saying they're going to put up points because that's why I'm playing them. So for them to keep needing to put up those points, somebody on the other team's probably going to have to perform well. So maybe I would run it back yesterday with an A.J. Brown or a Corey Davis. And in basketball, it's the same concept. If I'm going to play 3 starters and think that these guys are going to be really great DFS plays, then somebody's keeping them in the game. So the correlation is to run it back. I don't think it's as necessary in NBA. I still think it's viable and plausible depending on the slate size. But if a team like, I don't know, like the Nets or the Grizzlies, right? And I think if you look at tonight's Grizzlies game versus the Cavs, which is game number 1, the Cavs have a bunch of 34-minute players pre-flop. The Grizzlies don't have one 30-minute player, so I don't feel as compelled to run it back because I don't feel like the minutes are like lock. So that's why I'm not like as wavering to have run backs in NBA, because it's really just it's specific to the game, the slate. Yo, Gun, one FanDuel GPP lineup. Who's your center? Drummond. It's Embiid. If I have one bullet to shoot, it's Embiid. Matthias over Scott. Okay. I think some of these auxiliary Philadelphia Sixers play could just be like average to bad like value. Like you give me Embiid, you give me Maxey. I think one more guy can crush it, but I think it's very possible that a Mike Scott just gets 20, that a Danny Green gets 25. You know what I'm saying? Like there's still a world where like averageness exists for the rest of the lineup. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Remember, guys, 1-day sale for RunDFS.com VIP. My phone's blowing up. A lot of you guys taking advantage of that. Would love to see some new faces. Year pass is just $500. Like, that's probably the cheapest I've ever put a full year pass in the month of January. So go take advantage of that. Would love to have you in there. What's tomorrow's schedule looking like? Tomorrow. I think we already got news that a game was postponed tomorrow, right? So 2, 4, 6. I think there was a game tomorrow. Maybe I'm tripping. I got a 6-game slate. unless something's been canned. That's a 6 p.m. lock, so it's a regular slate lock. Sixers on a back-to-back. Oh, boy. So that would be an hour later. So we would do a stream at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central for this slate. So tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, look for us. We'll have streams every day, it looks like. Yeah, every day. Friday will be my last stream until probably there may not even be a day stream next week, chat. I have a trip to Minnesota, and I won't be back in my home until maybe the 21st, the 22nd. So there's a loose chance on the 21st, but maybe next Friday. So enjoy what we got this week, and then I'll be on the road next week. Maybe I can still put up daily videos from the hotel or whatever, but it's going to be a fun, exciting next week. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Monday afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow. For those of you watching just on YouTube, everyone else will be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord until lock. And I'll be making my player pool. You guys can get access to my player pool. What I'm doing tonight, you don't have to do it. This is what I'm doing. If you guys want to tail it or compare it to yours, it'll be there for you. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you crush it tonight. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe.